Right then guys, welcome back to another video, TUFO files. So today guys, predominantly we're focusing on the UK. So I've got something from pretty much every part of the UK, and then I've got two other sightings from the rest of the world, and one we've got a drawing. So I'm always fascinated by the drawing, so I'll throw that up on screen as well guys as I'm going through the account. So this first one guys is a pretty big one. So it's from Redford Workshop in Gainsborough. So this again guys is in a newspaper, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 10 people in the article who've been interviewed, and it's their sightings of this. So extracts from witness letters, sourcer, no official viewpoint. So RAF stations in the district can offer no explanation of the mysterious saucer-shaped flying object reported over Gainsborough on the night of Monday, October 19th. Radar equipment did not track the object as it flew across the outskirts of the town in a north to south direction from Scunthorpe to Lincoln. RAF Hemswell refused to comment. Scampton did not have their radar in operation at the time of the sighting, while a Waddington officer said, "We should have tracked it if it had been in the vicinity, but we did not know anything unusual." Yet the object is thought to have been seen again during this week in practically the same position as on the first occasion. 2 female employees of the Cooperative Society staff in Bridge Street claim they saw a bright yellow blob of light moving slowly across the uphill estate on Tuesday evening. They were preparing to leave work at 4:30 p.m. when one of the girls noticed the light high up in the sky. She said it did not look like an aeroplane, and it was certainly not a reflection from the sun, as it was stormy, rainy weather. A further employee of the firm, Philip Smith of Grey Street, was present at the time. So now we get into the extracts, guys, of the witness letters that were sent into the paper. I can only assume they've asked for witnesses to come forward. So the first one, Mr. E. Wood, 30 Gordon Street. I saw the object in the sky early on Tuesday morning from my bedroom window. I have never seen anything like it before. It looked to me about 6 inches long and 2 inches wide across the middle, tapering at the end. It was orange in colour. So I'm assuming guys he's saying it was 6 inches long and 2 inches wide from his vantage point. That's not what it was, how big it was in real life. Next one, Elgoy, 29 Tor Street. I glanced up at the sky and saw 3 yellowish lights. I could not hear any noise, and it seemed to be very low. Mr. Tartlin of the Gainsborough Ministry of Labour. I saw the object moving slowly with no apparent sound at about 10:40 p.m. I thought at first it was an aircraft in difficulty, but then I saw there were bright yellowy orange lights. It came from the direction of Corringham Road. Mrs. Gabadas, 5 Cromwell Street. I saw it at about 10:45 p.m. It was making some sort of a hum. It was in my sight for 10 minutes. It had 3 lights, egg-shaped, and the back light was glowing. So the next one's interesting, guys, because we've got a police officer Craig of the Gainsborough Police. I was on duty near the Old Hall at about 10:30 p.m. when it passed more or less overhead. It had lights in a triangular shape. There was a brilliant light just behind the front light, which was fluctuating, going brighter and dimmer all the time. So I wonder, guys, if that was similar to those TR3B ones that people say they see the black triangles. That sounds familiar to what or similar lines anyway. So another police officer, guys, Etheridge. I was in the Remy vicinity at about 10:30 p.m. when I saw something strange above. I did not think it was a flying saucer, but could not make up my mind what it was. He kind of sounds to me, guys, like he's on the fence because of his position as a policeman. Mrs. H. Macfall, Car Farm Bungalows. My husband and I were just leaving Haxey about 10:05 on Monday night when we saw this flying object. My husband remarked on it having all orange lights, 5 of them. It was humming. Other folks at Haxey also saw it. Mr. Les Good of Wellington Street. I was painting my house at about 2:30 p.m. on Monday afternoon when with a friend, I saw 2 objects in the sky, one above the other like a golden cross. Helena Rainsworth of Whitewood Lane. I saw it as I was walking in Woodfield Road at about 7:45 p.m. It looked like cat's eyes, 2 yellow lights. Mr. J. Freeman, 35 Morton Terrace. I happened to look towards the oil derrick on Castle Hills when I saw the object hovering above. Belinda Short, 32 Hawthorne Avenue. I saw the strange object on Monday tea time about 4:30 to 4:45 p.m. I called to my mother and she also saw it. And the last one, guys. Mr. F. Smith of Church Street and a member of a wartime searchlight battery. So this gentleman, you would assume, being part of a wartime searchlight battery, would know aircrafts, how to identify them, what aircraft it would be, and all that type of stuff, guys, yeah? He says, the article in the news of 23rd of October brought to my mind an incident which happened to me a few nights before. I glanced along the cinder road at the side of the levellings and saw a light in the sky. It was a blob of light moving at a good speed, going north to south. It reminded me of the Russian Sputnik, which I saw when it passed over Gainsborough. So this one's interesting, guys, for the sheer amount of people who saw something, and it seems to range from about 4 p.m. in the afternoon all the way up to about 11 o'clock at night. So another interesting one, guys. Multiple people have seen it. Multiple threads throughout, always connect. Yellow, orange, yellowy lights, multiple lights, a low hum, hovering. So I think everybody in this area, guys, saw the same thing, whether it be a flying saucer or an egg shape that one person identified. Who knows what they saw? Only wish we had some photos, or we could have been there at the time even better. So another one from Gainsborough, guys, in relation to the same incident that we've just spoken about. October 30th, we ran a feature on the mysterious object seen on the night of Monday, October 19th. RAF stations in the district could offer no explanation. Radar equipment did not track the object as it flew across the outskirts of Gainsborough in a north-south direction from Scunthorpe to Lincoln. The interesting feature about the sighting is the space which the newspaper devoted to the witnesses' reports. It has allowed more than a dozen readers to describe in detail their experiences. The times of these sightings vary between 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Some witnesses heard a humming noise, others described its colour varying from orange to yellow. Several described the lights which the object carried. It is significant that a local paper is willing to devote considerable space to a discussion of the object, which is treated with serious attention. So that in itself, guys, is interesting, like what Jen commented in one of the first videos I did on here on the TUFO files. I think it was the first video. Back then, it wasn't common for people to come forward and say they'd seen something, for fear of ridicule, for fear of being mocked, being made fun of. Like Jen said, a couple of her relatives had seen something, and that's why they have come forward. So the fact that a main newspaper decided to run it, and then you had a dozen people come forward with their sightings, is significant in itself, which in my view proves to go somewhere to say that the 12 people in this sighting actually did really see something, and each person writing in a different letter, some of their points cross with each other, so they correlate with each other. So this one, guys, is from Australia, other side of the world now. March 31st, 1960. Barry Neal, 18-year-old film operator of Goolwa, Australia, reported seeing a UFO last night. He was returning from Elliot at 11:30 p.m. when he saw a bright reddish orange coloured object 250 yards off the road. The object had little lights all around it like portholes. He said it was on the ground, but when I drove over to get a close look, it rose gradually and flew away at a high speed. Two young people near Adelaide also saw what is thought to be the same object. They have drawn a picture of the object. So there's something else, a note at the bottom here, guys, says, similarly of this object, an account to the Pernong sighting a year earlier. So in Australia, at a different place in the country, they believe this same saucer was seen, which is interesting. So like I say, guys, I'll throw that drawn up for you, so you can see it. So now we're back to the UK, guys. Lancaster, England. 4 grey-blue saucers. So 14-year-old Robert Dorrington, who sent a letter to George Adamski dated 27th of the 11th, 1959, says that on the night of September 12th, 1959, he was looking at the moon through his small refracting telescope when his father called him in for supper about 9:30 p.m. As I was going in, I saw with the unaided eye 4 round saucers, grey-blue in colour, that went from due south to due north in the space of 3 or 4 seconds. There was no noise or sound, and I made the enclosed drawing. So this George Adamski guy, a lot of people probably know about him and what he claimed in the 1950s to have been in contact with a man from Venus, and he had inside information. And by the looks of the TUFO files, guys, they actually interviewed him in person, and they did quite a lot of work with him to find out what he knew, how he knew it, how did he come in contact with this guy, this alleged guy from Venus. I haven't come across any of... So in the journals, there was a lot of newspaper articles on him. If anybody wants me to cover this George Adamski, I'm happy to do it, guys, but I thought he was well known and a lot of you would already know him. That being said, as the research goes on, I go back to the library. If there is any handwritten accounts or typed accounts from the TUFO people themselves, interviewing him and asking him questions and how he answers them, then by all means, I'll bring it to you. But up until that point, guys, I didn't think it was prevalent to talk through it, when a lot of you probably know who George Adamski is and all of his, notoriety through the 50s and 60s. So now we're at Liverpool, guys. Object in the sky. So this, guys, is from 24th of November 1959. A strange flying object described by Rock Ferry House wife, Mrs. M. Sperring, of 30 Tilstock Avenue, as just like those pictures of flying saucers, was reported to the Echo shortly after midday today. Mrs. Sperring said, I was hanging out clothes in my garden, which faces the river, when I noticed this object in the sky. It was definitely not an aircraft. It was shaped like a saucer, round with a dome on the top, from which a light was flashing. It appeared to be spinning. It was stationary at first, then began to move in the direction of Liverpool. A control officer at Liverpool Airport said that he knew of no aircraft in the vicinity at the time. So, TUFO, guys, that proves that it definitely wasn't anything man-made, in terms of that, I mean, an aeroplane or a helicopter or anything like that. And secondly, guys, what that lady saw was definitely a UFO, and it definitely wasn't anything man-made, because you're not going to convince an aeroplane or a helicopter with a dome on the top from which a light was flashing and the whole thing seemed to be spinning. So what I also find incredible about these sightings as well, guys, is they give the addresses of the people who've seen it, so you know exactly where the people encounter them and where they saw them from, which means the ones from Newcastle and Durham, which I've got quite a few of them, guys, in the TUFO files now on my computer. But what I want to do with them is I want to go out on the ground, and because obviously the addresses are there, I want to go to the streets, to the locations, and show you the footage of where they would have seen it, and give you the viewpoint and give you more of a feel for how they did it. By all means, guys, if anybody's from Liverpool or from any of the areas and you want me to send you these articles so you can go out on the ground and find the locations, by all means, email me on shadowsandsightings3010@gmail.com, and I'll happily send you the documents, guys. So another one, guys, for another cigar-shaped UFO that we've heard loads of over the series. So 12th of June 1960 in London at 9:30 p.m, a cigar-shaped reddish-orange colour was seen at North Finchley. The witness, Geoffrey Beresford, who had 6 years' experience with an RAF crew, and his wife are both LUFORO members. So LUFORO, guys, was the London UFO Research Organisation. I'm not too sure whether that still exists, but it seemed to be quite big and prevalent back in the day. And looking through their journals, it seems that the TUFO and this London-based group were in contact quite a bit, sharing cases. It was seen for about 7 to 8 minutes, seemed to reflect the sun which was below the horizon, and was clearly defined with parallel sides. Size was about half an inch on a ruler at arm's length and about the same distance above the horizon, tilted at an angle of about 18 degrees and moving very slowly. Mr. Beresford, whose hobby was once aircraft recognition, is positive it was not an aircraft. Its shape seemed too regular for it to be a cloud or vapour trail. Further, the Air Ministry's estimate of the wind at 10 miles an hour indicated that the object seemed to be moving against the wind. So another interesting one, guys, even more so the fact that he was with the RAF for 6 years. So it's important to listen to those guys when they're saying it's not an aircraft. They've done aircraft recognition. They're in the RAF. Those ones, guys, hold a little bit more weight with me in terms of the element of it being mistaken is kind of taken away to a large extent through their career and through what they've done in the past. So this one, guys, is just this is more of an interest piece for me personally, and I thought you would like to hear it. So the 30th of May 1960, a training plane goes missing. So RAF naval planes were searching the whole of northeast Scotland this morning for a Royal Navy single-seater Sea Venom missing on a training flight from Lossiemouth last night. Shipping has been asked to keep a lookout. The traffic control at Lossiemouth Naval Establishment said that visibility was reduced to 6 or 7 miles. The missing plane would not have had sufficient fuel to keep flying for more than an hour or two. So I've included that, guys, because the TUFO guys thought that it was significant enough to keep the article, so I've shared it with you. So this next one, guys, is from Selkirk in Scotland. And this, guys, is another example of how long these sightings were back in the 50s and 60s, like we spoke before in the previous episode. This one, 6 people managed to watch this flying saucer for 45 minutes. Now, I would give my left leg to be able to sit there and have a quality sighting of a UFO for 45 minutes and document it. It's crazy how long they were able to sit and watch a UFO for. So 6 people in Selkirk, Scotland saw a flying saucer for 45 minutes on April 4th, 1959. TV engineer Alex Handyside spotted the object low on the horizon towards the north. He brought out an astronomer's telescope and saw that appeared to be a saucer standing on its end. A dark band ran from the top to the bottom of the luminous oval and seemed to be revolving around the lighted area. 5 neighbours all confirmed his observation. So definitely not an airplane, guys, definitely not a helicopter. You're looking through with the astronomer's telescope, you've got a clear view of it, and if you're watching it for 45 minutes, you definitely know it's not anything man-made, well, or man-made to the extent that we knew about back then. And then this is a follow-up article, guys. So that one I've just read out to you there was one that was typed by the TUFO people, and then this is a follow-up article from someone in the Sunday Post. So 6 people in Selkirk were puzzling their heads yesterday over a queer object they saw in the sky for fully 3/4 of an hour on the previous evening. A bright light low on the horizon towards the north caught the eye of TV engineer Mr. Alex Handyside. A dark band ran from the top to the bottom of the luminous oval and seemed to be revolving around the lighted area. He called in 5 neighbours who all confirmed his observation. Gradually, the object travelled towards the west, rose a little, and suddenly the light went out. Several other people... so in the type 1, guys, it didn't tell us the professions of the people who confirmed him, but here it tells us, so 7 other people, including a police constable on night duty, were also attracted by the strange something brighter than any star just above the lonely hillside without any habitation for miles. So the fact that he was backed up by a police constable on night duty, guys, gives it that little bit more of a bit more weight in the terms of on the scale of did he actually see UFO, which I think he did. And that is it, guys, for this episode. Let me know down below, guys, if you're enjoying the videos, if you want to see more of the videos, if you'd like me to go back and keep doing the research and keep giving you the sightings from the 50s and 60s. There is actually journals, guys, I believe up until 78, So there is going to be a lot more, not modern, but a lot more, it's going to get more up to date the more times I go back to the library and they let me have more access to the files. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.